at the real deal now. Gonna kick this sorry ass out on the street. What you got? You used to think you owned the street. We'll pack your bags and your ass is dead meat. Victory's sweet.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week number 21 of the Lowdown Show Brain Wards on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. We are your Canadian-based WWE podcast that discusses and reviews Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Smackdown from the past week, as well as our Twitter poll segment called the Luke Gallows Polls, and WWE Headlines, where we talk about any important news in the WWE. Every week, the Lowdown Show is broadcasted live on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/NHBWP, and after it is done, it is posted on all our outlets, Spreaker itself, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, in full. We are everywhere for your enjoyment and for your enjoyment, and you know how you want to listen to us.
Yeah,
whatever's convenient
work,
for you
whatever.
guys. If you would like to join in on the conversation and have your thoughts, questions, opinions read on this podcast at the beginning of our show, tweet us at noholdsbarredwp or by leaving a comment on YouTube in the comments section below. You can follow the podcast itself as well on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, as well as subscribing to all our outlets, YouTube, Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, and everything, guys. We are everywhere again for your enjoyment. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, as always, and I'm always continuing to be joined by my corporate co-host, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, the glorious Corporate Cappy.
You filthy petal.
Filthy pedo indeed. He's dressed in full Alberto Del Rio gear today. It's actually a nice day up there. You know, it's all right. It rained a little bit. The sun kind of peeked out, and then it rained again. But while it was raining today, we decided to go eat somewhere before. I want to rant about something right now. Kind of off topic here. You know, I'm going off script, where The Rock likes to do. And so we decided to eat before we do the podcast today. I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Subway. Why not? Just get her in a nice, somewhat healthy sub. You know, because it's so healthy with all the preservatives.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, whatever. YOLO. So we get there. I walk in. And I have a problem with going to some places. Corporate Cappy knows I have some problems with some places. Like up here in Canada, we have this place called Bulk Barn. And basically what they have is like you can get candy and foods and stuff in bulk in like these bags. And I have problems with the people there because the cashiers never let me go out the door. They just want to talk to me. I'm like, no, scan my shit. Let me get out of the door. I didn't come here to have a conversation. This is not Conversation Barn. Okay? If I wanted that and want to have a conversation, I would have came in and just talked to you right away. No, I want my candy and shit. Let me get the hell out of that store. Don't sit there and talk about what candy I got and tell me your backstory on the certain candy.
Me, oh, it's my favorite. Well, yeah, no shit.
You know what else is my favorite? My car out there. Let me get out to it. So anyways, we walk into Subway today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try something new today. I usually get the steak and cheese. It's probably like one of my favorites. And you're trying the pulled pork yourself. I wanted to go for the turkey breast and ham, you know, try to mix it up a little bit. So I get up, you know, the first thing you do is you tell them what bread you want after you order what kind of sub and foot long or 6-inch. I'm like, whole wheat, please. She looked at me like I had 1,000 heads. I'm like, whole wheat. She points to the sign with all the bread and says 9-grain wheat. I'm like, no, whole wheat. The bread right there, that's basically 9-grain wheat. It's the same goddamn thing, but whole wheat, please. Thank you. She finally gets it. Like, okay, fine. She can't fuck this up any further. Wrong. She fucked it up again. We get to the ingredients part. She's like, veggies, please. I'm like, hey, lettuce. She puts the lettuce on. I'm like, tomato. She doesn't even grab the tomato. She grabs onions. That's different, lady. That's not tomato.
What if I didn't want onions? Luckily, you did want
Yeah,
onions.
luckily I wanted onions. But if I was allergic to onions, you just fucked up my sub. Way to go. So, after I'm done making my sub, okay. So, actually, we're into something else. There's 2 people in that goddamn place. We were the only ones in there, and the one's making the sub for both of us. The other one's just chilling at the cash register doing literally fuck all. Just sitting there looking at us. So, anyways, I get up to her, you know, the fuck all chick, and I got my sub ready. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to add some cookies to this. You know, let's just spice it up a little bit. I'm going to add 2 cookies. So, I tell her the first one I want is that cheesecake raspberry one. Then I'm like, I want a macadamia nut cookie. What does she grab? M&M's.
How does M&M's and white macadamia nut...
Lady, do you know what white mac... That's not even close. It's colored. Their fucking colors in the cookie. Oh my god, I had the worst experience at Subway. I'm going to add it to the list now of my worst experience at places.
We almost didn't do the podcast because it was affecting your personal health.
Yeah, this was infecting my personal health and my personal well-being as a person because my order at Subway was fucked up 3 times. Hard to believe at Subway. 3 times.
We almost said to them, you guys almost fucked up our podcast.
Literally, I was that close. All right, so I'm going to get that rant out of the way now. Okay, 5 minutes of that. So guys, if you got, I'm not even going to say shout-outs to Subway.
Show us them to get their shit together.
Yeah, how about that? But all right, guys, if you have problems with Subway or you have a funny story, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. I want to hear your funny stories. But anyways, so we get into the beginning of the show, as always. We read your tweets out there. And we got a couple this week. Hey, we have some questions to answer.
We got a lot, actually.
So we'll start off by Gamma at GammaNU1 on Twitter. He says about Raw, amazing main event. Glad to see Owens with the belt. He also says the ending of this Raw honestly brought me back to the first Raw of the new era, so maybe there's still hope for this thing. He also says, and with that, I'll say Raw won this week. So already jumped the gun even before watching SmackDown. Or I think we got that tweet during SmackDown. I forget. So after watching SmackDown, he's like, basically, Raw won this week. So thanks for your tweets, Gavin. They're hilarious as always and great as always. Thank you for your opinion. We definitely agree with you with that one. So we'll get into that later. Next week comes from at Greg Messi. Haven't heard from him in a while. That guy Greg on Twitter.
Greg and Messi?
Yeah.
Related to Messi, the soccer player?
I don't know. But he's also from the UK as well, who's actually expecting a baby now. So congratulations to Craig.
Oh, congrats.
Good for you. He says 10 out of 10 for Raw. Kevin Owens, new champ. New Day and Bayley teamed up. What else do you want?
I know what I don't want, and that's squash matches, so I won't give 10 out of 10, but we'll go into that later.
Yeah. Next tweets come from Irrelevance at Forlorn on Twitter. He says about Raw, great start and end. The middle is what's wrong because it felt like it all passed so fast. The highlights were only the New Day. He also says Bayley, or the highlights were New Day, Bayley, Jericho, the Heyman promo, which was awesome. I don't understand why people hate that segment. I think it just went over people's heads. He also says the downs was not seeing Bayley and Big E gyrating together. He also says I took a bathroom break with Titus and Darren. He also puts, the thing I loved the most is that Raw left you with a great cliffhanger. And my question this week is, what do you think will happen next week? You know what? We're going to answer questions right away.
With regards to
on these tweets. I guess he's with Raw with the cliffhanger at the end. You know what? I honestly think we're not going to see Triple H next week.
I think Seth Rollins is going to come out and freak out.
Yeah.
Maybe turn babyface. We'll see.
I think Roman Reigns is also going to freak out. I think that's going to lead, though, into a rematch with Rusev. I can see Rusev because we didn't see him at all this week because I guess he was on Superstars. But I think Reigns and Rusev are going to continue their feud next week. But I do not think we're going to see the game next week. There'll be mentions of him and what he's done. But I honestly do not think we're going to see Triple H for a while now.
I think Mick Foley and Stephanie are going to have to explain themselves.
Yeah, basically. Maybe like Mick's going to turn on Stephanie saying, like, this is probably your plan, that's your husband, something like that. So that's what we think, Irrelevance. That's what's going to happen next week. So move on to his other tweets about SmackDown. Overall, great show. Love the Miz promo. He was really stepping up. He also puts that Heath and Rhino segment was funny and their match was okay. He also puts for Carmella and Nikki, probably because they both have the power to fill my bladder. I don't remember what else happened.
Okay, then.
He also puts, but now that Heath and Rhino and the Hype Bros are in the Final Four, which boggles my mind, there are 4 face teams in the Final Four.
That's exactly what I was saying about how predictable this fucking tournament is.
But now you have 4 face teams. That's kind of hard. I mean, they could swerve us and have the Usos beat Triple A or Double A. Or you can even have Hype Bros beat Heath and Slater, the up-and-coming tag team. He also puts, and why? Who will be the first to chase after the tag title? So he puts, and why is there 4 face teams? So he agrees with you. Who will be the first to chase after the tag titles? And he also puts, is Rollins a face now? Because I don't think so. Interesting. But we do think he's a face.
Somewhat.
or
See what
going to
happens
be.
when he
We'll
comes out and
see.
cuts a promo on Monday.
Our next tweet comes from Casey Salvis on Twitter at Salvis94, the newest member of our Goon group here, where we watch pay-per-views every pay-per-view Sunday. He says, when will Dean Ambrose actually take things seriously instead of being a comedian all the time? Interesting. That's actually very interesting, Casey. And
Some people have said that as well.
yeah, it's kind of true. I mean, we'll get into it later, but I honestly think Dean Ambrose needs to be turning the seriousness a little bit more up than what he's usually doing right now, or what he's doing right now. Next tweet comes from Chuck Wilson. He puts, number one, with no obvious babyface in line, who does Kevin Owens feud with? Rollins? Is this Rollins' face turns? So a lot of questions about the face turn on Rollins. We'll get into that later. He also puts, I'm hoping that they end the Cesaro versus Sheamus crap and let Cesaro feud with Owens for the title. Keep Rollins heel with the hashtag.
Well, they are. Whoever wins this is going to get a Universal title match.
I'm with him, though. They honestly should just drop this. Say, fuck it. We don't need this anymore because no one actually cares about it. I said this for like the last 2 weeks. No one gives a shit about the stupid feud. Okay.
It's bad enough that Sheamus is up 2-0 now.
Yeah. Michael Chow also says, Michael Chow also says, what am I talking about? Thank you, Chuck Wilson, for your tweets. And on to Michael Chow, our number one fan on Twitter and of the podcast. Thank you, Michael Chow, for your support and your endless tweets and your endless support to the podcast. We really appreciate it. He puts, this is what SummerSlam should have been in terms of Raw. Even this Triple H ending for SummerSlam would have been satisfying. He also puts, Raw takes it. Pros were the main event, Seth Mike Skills, Owens big win. The cons, Jobber City, making PTP great again, and worst of 7 series.
Michael Chow, man, he's got some one-liners.
He also said, this is how SummerSlam should have ended. Triple H screwing Rollins and Finn, shaking Triple H's screwing Rollins and Finn shaking Triple H's hand as a Finn heel turn.
Ooh,
that's interesting. That would have been actually pretty cool at SummerSlam. That would have ended the show awesome. Like, people would have been happy with that if that ended SummerSlam for sure. He puts, what were your thoughts on WWE testing out Big Cass's solo push? Enzo equals Cass's personal ring announcer.
Or he's his own Bob Backlund. I don't know.
Basically. You know, I kind of like the solo push. I think he can hold his own as a solo wrestler for sure.
But he needs Enzo too.
Yeah, he does need Enzo as
Enzo.
As Michael Cass said, or Michael Chow said, Cass is a personal ring announcer. He needs Enzo as his hype man if he's going to have a singles career. But he did look promising in the match itself, so we'll get into that later as well. He also put, no pushes for Baron Corbin or Cesaro, and Big Show is nowhere to be seen. Is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal cursed?
The 3 winners, yeah.
Yeah. All being like chopped.
I never thought of that before, but that's kind of funny.
That's kind of cool. So thanks, Michael Chow, for that. He also puts, after winning the worst of 7 series and not getting a title shot as promised,
worst of 7 series,
Cesaro should replace the exiting Del Rio on SmackDown.
Who should?
Cesaro.
He should.
Yeah, I see that. That'll probably what will happen.
That would make a lot of
sense. We forgot a tweet. Forgot to mention beforehand from at Tony Mercer at Recream Why Not. Or Recrem right now. I don't know if I'm saying that right on Twitter. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. He put, worst SmackDown since the draft, simply.
We got another one here.
Oh, we just got incoming one? Oh, yeah, we did. From at Mark Top Shelf. He puts, are you concerned that the brand wars may have a negative impact on the long-term viewer future of Monday Night Raw? Raw ratings consistently beats any challenger, no matter what channel event, but the last couple of Monday nights have not been as good as good top to bottom. And I believe it has somewhat to attribute with the roster being so thin. He also puts, love you guys, keep up the good work, or my commute is going to suck. Well, we're thankful that your commute doesn't suck with listening to us. But that's interesting because, yeah, it kind of looks that way even on both shows, even after looking at this week. We had good openings from both shows and good endings from both shows. Well, sort of for SmackDown. But the middle of the show just seems so bland and so watered down.
The 1 hour of Raw in the middle is just filler garbage with these stupid squash matches. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for the Cruiserweights to come.
Yeah, I think that's what we think. I think the Cruiserweight division comes in the Raw. We'll have something more to look forward to on Raw. They're just going to need to do something with SmackDown to elevate that mid-card division. Definitely not something like bringing back the Headbangers, some shit like that, because that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I literally think they were the only team that they called.
I didn't even know who they were, to be honest. I totally forgot they even existed.
I don't even.
You really could not find anyone better. I would have enjoyed Doink the Clown and Sergeant Slaughter out there than the Headbangers.
Honestly, I don't even know who the Headbangers are. I wasn't watching that yet before. Like,
I had to look back at this because I didn't know either. I was like, who? 16 years. Why the hell would anyone out there know who the fuck these guys are?
And it wasn't like they were ever really relevant.
No, they won the tag titles like once. Why the hell they automatically get put in this tournament? And you have the vaudevillains jobbing. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen my entire life.
You have an up-and-coming tag team that gets jobbed in like 30 seconds.
But you had the Headbangers almost winning against Slater and Rhino.
But what did make sense was, like, were they the only team that WWE called that would, like, actually come back just to get squashed in one match?
I hope not. I hope there's, like, you know what, they had, like, a board, they had a boardroom, just picture a boardroom, they had, like, a whiteboard up, you have, like, list of former tag teams they can bring back, probably some good ones, you probably could have had something with the Dudleys going over to SmackDown, or you probably could have, like, a better team out there, there's probably something out there I'm not thinking of at the top of my head.
But anything's better.
But you know what, they're like, you know, fuck all these other names, we're bringing back the Headbangers, 100%. Who's out of here? You? George over there, yeah, good for you, George. Way to go, Headbangers, yes. Give this guy a promotion. No, fuck that. We don't want the Headbangers. Who the fuck cares?
They're like 45 years old.
They're fat and out of shape. They barely could pull off any move in the ring. I'm surprised. I bet you like one even tore something. But we're not going to care because if they tore something, they're not even going to be any relevant in WWE ever again. What are they going to come back in 16 years and like have some sort of like manager type role? Like they're going to be like a managers for an up and coming tag team in 16 years? Like who? This is so stupid.
Did a leg drop off the top rope. I was like, holy crap!
I'm like, he probably tore everything in his leg right there. That guy is going straight to a retirement home from SmackDown. Unfucking believable. But anyways, guys, we're into our second part of the show, and that is the Luke Gallows polls. That's right, guys. Welcome to the Luke Gallows polls, our Twitter poll segment of the show where we read our great polls from our boys at Fun WWE Polls on Twitter. Go follow them and check them out, guys, at Fun WWE Polls. They do some fantastic, some funny, some serious, all kinds of polls related to WWE, Raw, and SmackDown during those show times. So go check them out. We're going to read some great polls for you this week. I'm sure we have some great polls this week. We'll get to our host of the show, Copper Cappy. Lead us off.
Yep, start off Luke Gallows polls. We've just got an interesting poll here. 2016 theme song champion. Ooh. So there's 4 theme songs, and which superstar has the best theme song?
This is interesting.
AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, John Cena, or Enzo and Cass?
Oh my god! And as much as you hate John Cena out there, you got to admit he's got like the catchiest song because it's the catchiest theme to sing to, and saying John Cena sucks to you.
It's got crowd involvement in it now. And,
okay, I'm gonna have to, before you even read the results, I'm picking AJ Styles.
And you'd be right. 38% AJ Styles.
Only 38%? It was that close?
26 Sasha Banks, 21 John Cena, and 15 for Soft.
Wow. It's for Soft. Soft, how you doing?
Yep, that was apparently the pre-finals, so next week we should get the finals of the tournament.
That's interesting.
Yep, that was a cool poll. Will Daniel Bryan wrestle a match in a WWE ring in 2016 or 2017? Yes or no?
Because I've read some related rumors that saying no, and there's also people saying yes. I'm actually say yes, but I don't think it's going to be in a long match. I see it being a 1 or 2 minute retarded squash match, just because I know WWE and what they like to do. If he's going to have another match, it's going to be really, really quick. Like he's going to hit the running knee really quick, or like it's going to be like against Heath Slater, and like for like a contract, and like he's going to hit the running knee right off the bat and pin him right off the bat. It's still considered a match, but I think yes.
No one was 62%.
Jesus. Yeah.
I think he will. I don't think it'll be in WWE, though. I think he'll wrestle somewhere else.
You think you go to an indie promotion? Hopefully not Impact Wrestling.
No, never.
What is Bryan Danielson doing in the Impact Zone? It's Broken Danielson.
I'm done with that. Which one of these superstars do you want to win the Fatal 4-Way match?
Ooh.
63% said Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he won. He won, baby. I get to that later.
Surprisingly, Reigns was tied with Big Cass for 11%.
Wow.
And Rollins was 15%.
Wow. You guys out there, man.
And this next poll, rest in peace to the great Mr. Fuji, who passed away past week. Which part of Mr. Fuji's career did you enjoy most? Teaming with Professor Tanaka, which I do not know. Managing Don Morocco.
Oh, God.
Managing Demolition. Or managing Yokozuna.
Yokozuna, 150%.
Managing Yokozuna one was 64%.
Of course.
Poor Don Morocco was last with 6%.
Really? Oh, and those crappy, corny, like,
Vignette
spin-off movies. Oh, my God.
Demolition was in second. I'm done with that, but yeah. Great Mr. Fuji.
Yep, rest in peace.
Next. We left for that match, so I'm not going to say that one. Which one of these superstars could have used some more long-term developing in NXT? Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Apollo Crews, or Carmella? And 45% goes to our girl. Playtime is over. Dana Brooke.
No way.
He needs to stop doing more playtime and do more in-ring shit. 45% for Dana Brooke. And
Pretty much.
100% agree with this.
Yeah.
She's very stiff in the ring. And when people like hit her against the ropes, it's like this, like she does this like weird head bobbing thing. It looks so fake and so crappy. And then that one drop kick that Bayley did on her.
Oh
and
my
she
God!
Just, like, felt,
yeah.
It was like the worst thing.
Yeah, that was the worst botch I've ever seen. Botch City.
And it's pretty bad because we don't know if Nia Jax needs more work because she's just squashing people in 2 seconds.
We honestly can't even judge that. Honestly, you can't because like she faced Bayley in NXT, but like that was basically a squash match as well. Like she just killed Bayley. So like I don't understand. We can't really judge Nia Jax off squashing people in 4 moves.
Apollo Crews is actually second in that.
Wow. Well, I kind of agree.
Yeah. Next, this is a great one. Will Jinder Mahal win a televised match on Raw the rest of 2016?
I'm gonna say no. As much as I want him to, I'm gonna say no.
No one was 72%.
It's only 72. I was hoping for like high 80s because this is really bad with him. Really bad. He's just there to job. I guess he's happy with that.
Yep. Get a contract. Yeah. Maybe he's part-time. Maybe he can take some drugs.
Yeah, take some drugs. Why not?
Which one of these superstars will be the women's champion at the end of 2016?
Ooh.
Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte, or Nia Jax?
Where's Paige? The hell?
And the winner was Bayley with 48%.
Jesus.
I think that's a little premature. I don't think it's Bayley's time yet. I think Bayley might win it next year at WrestleMania.
What about Survivor Series?
Nope. No way in hell.
Maybe WrestleMania. WrestleMania is probably a good spot for her.
Yeah. Because it's not like she just got called up. Like the hype is still going with her. She's still got
the hype train.
I hope she doesn't become part of the hype bros.
No, she can't.
This is one that you've been preaching for a long time. Are you interested in the Sheamus and Cesaro Best of 7 series? Yes or no? No, only 61% though. 39% said yes.
Oh, hold on. What? You people out there like this. I can't. I can't vouch for you. I can't defend you. You have something wrong with you if you think this series is good for television. You need to stop watching WWE right now if you think that's anywhere great for television. I say it every week. You should be watching TNA. It's great, man. You don't know what you're missing. You're missing some classic stuff on Impact Wrestling. Some great stuff there every Thursday night.
Because I don't even care about
it on Pop TV.
It's unbelievable. What's your expectation of the upcoming Cruiserweight division on Raw? Great, good, okay, or terrible?
Great.
Great one with 47%.
It should be. You see a freaking list of people they have signed for this division? Unbelievable. This division's actually going to kick ass. I cannot wait for it to come. I cannot wait for them to introduce the new title. It's probably going to be purple. The same looking title as everything else. So I can't wait for this.
Get rid of the Sheamus Cesaro series and the squash matches.
Yes. Send Cesaro over to SmackDown and put the cruiserweights in there and give me a couple cruiserweight matches a night. I'll be happy.
Terrible got 8%. Who are the 8% that said this is going to be awful?
Impact Wrestling watchers.
Which one of these feuds is the worst?
Oh God.
O'Neal versus Young, Cesaro versus Sheamus, Corbin versus Kalisto. I don't even know if that's still...
That's not even a feud anymore.
Well, either way, O'Neal and Young won with 67%.
Yeah, because I can't wait to rant about that later. That's honestly the worst thing I've ever seen.
Hey,
it's gotten worse than what I thought it was going to be.
If I could rewind to about 4 podcasts ago, you said
I know,
you were looking forward to this.
I understand, but it's gotten worse than what I expected. They've done it basically the opposite of what I thought they were going to do.
Corbin and Kalisto finished second in that poll, if you care. What? I don't think I'm not going to spoil that. We're going to go on to...
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we're going to go on to... these ones are all spoilers. Hang on. Just give me a second here.
Oof.
Which one of these had the best show this week? Raw or SmackDown? Raw won with 65%.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, that should be 100. Folks out there thought SmackDown was better. Get a clue.
The last poll is really good, but I don't want to spoil it, so we're going to do this one instead for the last one. Does another Dolph Ziggler and The Miz feud intrigue you any?
Nope.
No one with 56%.
Not at all, because you should not be going for the IC title. It's really just diminishing Ziggler again, like usual.
He just went from...
He goes in the same cycle. He gets up to the top, then goes right back to the mid-card, then he's going to sink again. He's going to go right back to the top, go back to the mid-card, and sink again. It's the same fucking cycle every single time with Ziggler.
Not ever come down with a title at all.
Never. I fucking feel for the guy. But, guys, that's it for Luke Gallows' poll. So into the main part of the show, our reviews for Raw and SmackDown. We'll start off with Raw this week, and I just might as well talk about it. Get right into it. Owens is the new Universal Champion. Yes!
The Twitterverse...
The Twitterverse, my verse, went completely ballistic. I ran maybe around my living room 100 times. Corporate Cappy jumped up in the air even. I thank him for that, for the support. But my boy Owens finally getting a major title in the WWE. And with the crowd of you deserve it chants, they couldn't have been more right. He definitely deserves this. Good for Kevin Owens. But what a match. The shit that happened in this match... This was literally, I have been meaning to check what Meltzer rated this match. It's probably 4 or 4.5. This was incredible. It had everything. It had drama. It had spot fest. It had just awesomeness written all over it.
It totally reeked of awesomeness.
It reeked of awesomeness. Okay, so let's get into one thing here. Big Cass. Let's talk about Big Cass. So they really, really hyped this guy up.
Well, they did a promo for each of them during the show.
Yeah, they had the opening show. They start off with that opening segment where they're in the ring with the chairs, and I love how Owens is making fun and saying, like, you guys here, like, lined up like this is, like, some sort of, like, intervention or something, or I forget what he said.
At first, he's like, I'm really happy to be here right now.
Owens, that was, like, the best opening segment I've seen from Owens in a long time. It was so funny. It was hilarious. I was actually waiting for, like, Jericho to come down and join in, but we didn't get to see that.
Roman Reigns actually did something pretty funny where he called out Rollins for having a small penis.
Yeah.
That was Cass, I think.
No, it was
Cass.
It was Cass. Yeah. It was Cass. It was
Roman.
Cass.
Roman didn't even talk. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
But Cass
which is
said
great.
That was great.
But yeah, that was great. So yeah, they're really hyping because so like throughout the show, they had like vignettes for each superstar leading into this match, and I thought Big Cass's promo was literally the only one that I'm like, oh shit, it actually might be Big Cass. Like they actually might roll with that and like do this whole new era crap. Yeah, but there's a lot of hype for Big Cass, even though he was the first one to lose in this match. They had all this hype for this dude, but he was the first one to lose in this match. Then it goes back to like what we were saying earlier with the question we got, I forget by who, but saying that Big Cass, it was okay for that week, for this week, for him as a singles push, but we need Enzo Amore as his hype man if they're going to continue that. But I really hope they actually don't. I hope we wait for the... I don't even know where you do with them from here.
Do they get a title shot if the club wins the title?
Like, but that's not until Clash of Champions, which is what, like 3-4 weeks from now. That's a long time.
Team to feud with right
what
now?
are they going to do up until then?
Is there another tag team on the roster besides Golden Truth that they can feud with? The Shining Stars? Oh my god! Don't tell me they're going to feud with the Shining Stars.
Oh my god! I really hope not. Oh.
Maybe they'll continue Cass facing people one-on-one and having like Enzo at ringside. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe an Enzo versus Jericho feud.
I really just want something for these guys. They cannot put out the fire or dim the fire just yet. They need to control this. And if they're going to continue a Big Cass singles push like the next couple of weeks, I have one solution in mind, what you can do, and it's going to be really bad or it could be really good. Instead of squash matches for Braun Strowman, how about you have Big Cass come out and confront them?
That would be interesting, actually.
They're both the same fucking size, and Braun Strowman's been squashing little people. Why not have Big Cass show up and say, you know what, let's go? Why not?
I'm actually thinking of that. That sounds really good.
If they continue that, then I'll be happy. But if you're going to dim the fire and have these guys not even show up for the next couple of weeks, then what the fuck was the point of having him in this Universal Fatal 4-Way match?
What about if he faced Jericho?
I don't even know if I want to see that. That'd be all right, I guess. But like we already seen the KO, the Jericho and Big Cass and Enzo. Like it's just I don't know. I don't know if I can't tell. But also in this match, or to do with this match, we had Steph botching a lot throughout the night. She kept saying the first Universal Champion.
The first.
Does she hate Finn Balor? What the fuck, Steph? I thought the first time was just a botch, but she said it several times throughout the night. Was that on purpose?
Maybe she thinks that the first one doesn't count because he had it for like less than 24 hours and had to give it up.
That still counts, though. He's still written in the books as the first champion.
I know. Well, maybe Steph doesn't want to admit that.
Or does Steph hate Finn Balor? Like, we have a genuine hate. Is this something that's going to be brought back to? Interesting.
But do we want to go into the match a bit?
Yeah. Unreal match. Fucking
how Cass got eliminated was huge. Like, and Kevin Owens did a frog splash from the top rope
for the win. But like, Big Cass and Reigns had that huge spot, that big boot that sent both of them over the top rope. That was like the craziest big boot I've ever seen.
Or when Reigns turns around, he's like, ooh, wah, and turns into another big
right into a big boot. Just you could hear the smack.
I wanted a GIF for that. That was fantastic.
We're definitely have to look for that GIF.
Like Cass looked good in the match, like even though he was eliminated first.
I mean, as we talk about that in like his singles push, he actually looked good for a singles competitor in a match with. Look who he's in a match with: Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. He looked like he could compete with them and stay with them.
Yeah, he didn't look out of place.
No, it was really, really good. A good showing by Big Cass. It was the first one eliminated. I honestly thought they're going to do Roman Reigns and the crowd would go nuts, but. Interesting match. It's definitely one of the match of the year candidates for sure. Even if it doesn't win, it's definitely a candidate in a nomination or
the surprise and the hype factor that ended this match.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So the way Roman Reigns gets eliminated was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like I was so happy, just out of nowhere, Triple H shows up
as Mick and Stephanie are sitting there at ringside.
Yeah, and gives Roman Reigns a pedigree on the outside, for that matter. Like, clean pedigree in the outside.
Tosses him back in.
The crowd's going fucking ballistic. They roll him back in. Quick cover by Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Reigns eliminated. I'm like, holy shit.
Over at Rollins and he's like hyping up. He's like, come on.
Let's go. Let's go. You're my boy. Your boy's my boy. Authority. He's back in place. Let's go. So they're hyping this Authority. The crowd's getting, a lot of heat right now.
Triple H goes over to Kevin Owens, throws him back in the ring.
Yeah, throws him back in the ring, and then we're looking like he's going to set up for the pedigree for Rollins, and he grabs Rollins. Triple H grabs Rollins and gives him the pedigree. And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell did we just see? I was going nuts. I was going,
God.
By God, what is going on? What is this? Just the carnage.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The guy's got a family.
But Triple H gives Seth Rollins the pedigree and just staring at Kevin Owens and then gives him the pedigree and Owens just like, what? And then jumps over the cover and then 1, 2, 3. Yes. Kevin Owens is your freaking second ever and new Universal Champion. Wow. Triple H gets out of the ring, rips the title out of Mick Foley. And Stephanie's just like, what the fuck just happened?
And before the match, Stephanie had said that there would be no outside interference in this match.
And then hands the title to Kevin Owens and shakes his hand. I'm like, oh, man. And it's crazy to think. If you guys don't know, go check it out. Every time Kevin Owens went backstage after a moment in WWE, he had a picture with Triple H. So when he first debuted, there's a backstage picture of him and Triple H. When he won his first NXT title on NXT, first thing he did, went to the back, picture of Triple H. Won his first IC title, went to the back, had a picture of Triple H. What happened when he won this Universal title? I have it on my phone. Goes to the back, has a picture with Triple H.
Wow. So
Triple H and Owens is his boy.
So I guess
he's so high on Owens.
Rollins really wasn't his boy after all.
Yep. Oh my God.
Shoutouts to Houston. They actually had a good crowd.
That was a
this week.
great crowd. They were
I don't
hyped
know if it
as
was a
fuck.
mixture of a bunch of crowds coming together because they knew it was going to be a historic title match, so
Mm-hmm.
like people from all over came to that Raw. But they had a good like. I'm glad it wasn't in Memphis or something when like Triple H came out because I could only imagine it wouldn't have even been that.
But this
good
is
of a pop.
awesome, and this is awesome, and it looks like they went the right direction as we thought because the original plans were for Finn Balor to face Owens at Clash of Champions, and then a triple threat at the next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell with Jericho. So it's going to be interesting to see now what the plans are and how they're changing into next week. Who's going to be Owens' next opponent?
Yeah.
Is Rollins going to be the next guy, or is Jericho now going to face
'Cause
Owens?
Jericho and Owens are still friends, so like, what's going to happen? Is Jericho going to come up to him and be like, "Hey,
Title
wanna
shot?
give me a shot now"?
Yeah. I deserve it. I buried everybody.
I hope you win that match to get there.
Which we'll get into now, with Jericho continuing to bury people. This week's victim, unfortunately, is Neville, which I didn't want to see that ever, but
We left for this match.
yeah, Neville was the victim for this week. Yeah, we saw it coming up next. I'm like, no, let's go. We left. I forget where we went to go. I think we just got a drink or something. Anyways, we left. But we got back in time to see still some of the match, and from what we've seen, it was actually a decent match. Neville is definitely going to be the future head of the Cruiserweight division. When the Cruiserweights come in, he's so talented for that small of a guy, and I think he's probably going to be the first champion, maybe, or be in contention for that first champion. He's so good. Guy's just incredible, like incredibly skilled. But we get Jericho winning and burying again. Like, it just adds to... He should have a t-shirt with the list of people he's buried this year alone. It'd be great. It'd be like the Barry World Tour. He won with the Lion Tamer, too. He won the Lion Tamer.
Yeah, he used the Lion
Which
Tamer.
Michael Cole wouldn't
Wow.
say. He was about to say it. He said, "Lie," and he stopped himself and just kept talking about random stuff. Or he just got crazy, and he won with the Lion Tamer. Why didn't you say Lion Tamer, Michael Cole? You're allowed to say it. It's not a bad word. I mean, they're allowed to say drive-by at Roman Reigns, but you're not allowed to say Lion Tamer? Like, it's one of his moves. When he arches the back like that and goes down to only one knee, that's a Lion Tamer. That's what he calls it. I don't understand why Michael Cole didn't say it. I don't understand. Ronaldo would have said it. Our boy Ronaldo. Boy, they're one of the greatest announcers right now.
I bet even Mike Tenay would have said it.
Mike Tenay on Impact Wrestling would have said it.
Olympic Slam.
Olympic Slam. Yeah, that's a little inside thing we got. But anyways, Jericho continuing to bury people. I guess it's
For him,
fantastic. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to drink it in, man.
It.
You have to
deal
drink
with
it.
Deal with it. Should be a shirt.
Deal with what?
Deal with it, and then just a big it on
A big
the shirt.
it on the shirt. And then goat on the back or something. Yeah. But anyways, we'll move on to Bailey. Joining the New Day this week. Hey,
awesome.
we want some
Backstage
Bailey. The backstage segment was hilarious. With Bailey, New Day, and then your girl Dana Brooke showing up.
How can you even call her my girl? She looked like she was about to go in the next Brazzers porno.
Yeah, with that stupid promo with the club. Now they're not doctors anymore. They're like, I don't even know
the
what
head
they
of a
were.
retirement home. And they said last week we made the Dudleys come there, and then this week we're gonna.
I gotta admit though, it's
New
fucking
Day.
hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
these guys, I didn't think it was good. Brought up by our former co-host No Self Phil. He was watching Smackdown with me yesterday. He brought up this like, were the club or the Bullet Club in New Japan ever a funny? Did they ever do funny stuff? And I'm like, it's interesting, Phil. So I went back and looked at it. No, they're just like the heel beatdown team. So this is actually hilarious that these guys can pull stuff off like this, and I actually enjoy it.
And then they had Dana Brooke come over, and she's wearing a nurse outfit.
That's where it all came crashing down, and I'm like, oh, you just ruined a perfectly good promo segment. Damn it, Dana, go away.
She puts a glove on and says, "Who's next?"
That's so weird.
And yeah, it looked like it was about to be the start of a porno.
There was some heat on Twitter. I guess Luke Gallows' wife got into it and like was calling her out about it and stuff, and calling her like, dirty, trash, and unprofessional.
Nice.
So
Wow.
yeah, how about we not do that ever again, WWE? We even saw that Twitter picture where someone put the Brazzers logo, like they took a screenshot and put this Brazzers logo at the bottom. I'm like, oh my god, that's way too perfect.
But as you were saying, it kind of would make sense if Dana Brooke was their manager.
Yeah. So I went on. We were watching Raw, me and Corporate Cap here, and I'm saying like, you know what? Dana would actually be the perfect manager for the club. Like we always said that they needed that third person. Why not have Dana Brooke as their manager? And she can have a fight here and there. But why not have her as their manager? Perfect. Like, such a perfect heel manager for them. Because we know she can't really wrestle in the ring. She's terrible at it. Why not just have her as a freaking manager for the club? I'd love that. I would honestly love that. It'd be perfect fit for her. I can deal with the club and now not having to worry about having a third man for them. I think she should become the manager for the club. 100%.
So we got into a mixed
tag match. Intergender, I guess you can say. Yep. Mixed tag match with Bayley and the New Day and Dana and the club. It's actually not bad of a match. It's actually pretty good.
When Dana Brooke got in there, it was terrible.
The stupid botch where she's supposed to take Bayley's dropkick and rolled out of the ring. Oh.
I don't know what was worse, that or Charlotte being on commentary.
Yeah, and she was on commentary, which really didn't have any effect. I really forgot she was even on commentary until after the match. Where when Bayley won, they mentioned it to her on commentary. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, she's on commentary. Sure, why not?
No one cares.
But yeah, Bayley wins the belly, which the first move Big E does when he walked in the ring was a belly to belly, and I'm like, everyone on Twitter is going, oh, Big E with the Bayley to belly off the start.
No pin though, no sell.
No pin, no sell. Like our boy, no sell Phil.
Yeah, and this New Day and Bayley are just hilarious. They're eating bootios together, and they're doing Bayley's dance thing. And
But as I read on Twitter, people are a little bit pissed off and hoping that this doesn't continue. And I agree with them. I really hope this does not continue over the weeks because Bayley needs to be her own character and needs to now build her own character. You can't be. If she just continues this thing with the New Day, people are going to know her as the New Day person or being a part of the New Day and want her to keep being part of the New Day. No. If she's going to be the next top diva on Raw or one of the top divas on Raw and be like the John Cena of the division, she's got to break away from that and start building her own character.
I know, but it was only her second week, though.
I know, but I kind of agree with what people are saying, and hoping that it doesn't continue.
I actually thought it was great, but...
Yeah, no, it was great for 1 week. This cannot continue. I will not have it. I will not condone it. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want any of it.
I don't want any of it. But let's get into another topic here. Pretty heated topic from us every week. And that is the continuing job squatting segments of Nia Jax and Braun Strowman. I know our followers and tweeters hate it too. But every goddamn week we get this shit. Every week.
Why? What is the point of this?
Who out there is you know what? I'm going to come home and watch Raw. Yeah, you know what I'm most excited for? The Job Squad. Yeah, going to see who's jobbing next week. I'm going to see 4 moves of wrestling, and then I'm going to turn off the TV. No one is doing that. Said no one ever. Ever. So this week we had Nia Jax.
Has potential. Okay, yeah. Do Nia Jax.
We had Nia Jax face Mayon.
Her
more like moron
promo.
Or stupid. Moronic promo.
She was acting she was joking around backstage. I'm just what is this?
Really? They really have to have these stupid jobbers look confident? And we know what's going to happen, so why even make them look confident? Again, the match lasts 4 or 5 moves, squash, done. I mean, I like Nia Jax's finisher, but on jobbers, it just looks stupid. It just looks like it's too easy. She needs a feud. And I'm hoping when Paige comes back, it's Paige, because I just want her to feud with somebody and have Bayley, Charlotte, and Sasha have their moment with the titles for now until Paige gets there. But Paige, I hate saying it, but Paige would be the perfect opponent for Nia Jax to feud with.
Probably.
I think 100%. Can you imagine her giving Nia Jax the Rampage? How nuts people would go? That would look insane.
Yeah. Because right now she either has to squash Summer Rae or Alicia Fox.
Yeah, there's only people left. Unless Bayley starts feuding her, but no one wants to see that either. Or I don't know. You don't know. We can't say anybody. This is season to stop. It's almost like what our friend Mark there said, saying how the middle of the show is slowing down because there's a diminished roster. It kind of looks like that because there is a diminished roster right now.
The women's is
especially the women's, because who else do you have Nia Jax to face right now? She's gonna have to keep jobbing until someone comes up. If Paige comes back, or they believe in Summer Rae or Alicia Fox enough to have their own singles feud.
She's not gonna fight Dana Brooke.
No.
They should call up another person from NXT or something.
Yeah. So we get into her jobber boyfriend Braun Strowman. Don't do it. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I hate his theme song. I freaking cringe every time I hear it. He faces Mr. Americo this week.
I don't know if this guy...
Mr. America ripoff.
I don't know if he was Rey Mysterio mixed with when Hulk Hogan was the masked dude.
This guy was that, Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon, Kalisto, Sin Cara, all blended together into some crappy mess of a Mexican wrestler. I think that was an embarrassment to Lucha Libre right there.
It was.
Because he obviously wasn't, because after the match, he got his mask taken off. I honestly think a true to God Lucha Libre would have not let that happen or agree to that. So I do not think they're 100% Lucha Libre.
That was bad. He shouldn't have ripped off the mask because apparently that's very disrespectful or one of the worst things you can do. And,
It is. So I do not think that guy was truly a Lucha Libre. Like with the name Mr. Americo, I highly doubt it.
When they took his mask off, he looked white to me.
Yeah, so it's stupid. It's literally an embarrassment to the Lucha Libre style of wrestling. I can't believe we watched that. Again, another 4 moves match. Backwards chokeslam done. Cool, Braun Strowman. Like, you're killing people like 3 times lower than your weight.
If he was going to squash somebody, squash someone on the roster. Squash Sin Cara.
Mark Henry.
No. Okay, squash Big Show. Where's Big Show?
Big Show or Big Show.
Where is your boy Big Show?
As much as I hate seeing this guy on TV, I just want Braun Strowman to stop squashing people. Why not just have a stupid feud with Big Show so we can kind of rant and semi-like about that? Because right now I don't like this stupid... Exactly.
Who wants to see that? Who wants to spend 20 minutes of their night watching Raw, or even at the event, watching 2 squash matches that no one gives 2 fucks about?
Are we eventually going to see a mixed tag squash match?
I'd rather get that done with. Get it over with. Do it. Nia Jax and Braun Strowman versus 2 local jobbers. Just do it.
2 moves each.
Face fucking 8 of them. I don't care.
Just come one right after the other like a gauntlet.
Yeah. Like, why not? Like, that would be more entertaining.
Yeah, because right now this is terrible. There's actually people out there that love these job matches. Why?
What are they showcasing? He's doing like 2 moves. The savior of wrestling that we're supposed to get, that we never got, is doing a backwards chokeslam, a boot, and a splash in the corner. What's so good about that?
It's definitely it's comparable to Brock. You can't even compare actually to Brock Lesnar because everyone says like Brock Lesnar just suplexes, but he has like multiple types of suplexes he does. That's more entertaining than watching Braun Strowman use 5 moves.
What is the point? Like I'm just tired of talking about it. Why? Like I really want to call up WWE Creative and be like, can you give us something else?
Yeah,
we've seen it for like 5 weeks now.
Exactly. So we'll move on now. And speaking of squash, I don't know if this was considered a squash match, but like we said earlier, poor Jinder Mahal. He basically gets squashed in a semi-decent match. He gets his entrance job or squashed. Then he like basically loses to Sami Zayn what looked like a squash match. It was semi-decent, but it was just Sami Zayn doming the entire match.
The kick he looked like he got him so hard in the face.
Yeah. And really why is it, if this is a showcase for Sami, why? Like, what the hell was the point of this match? Are we going to see this match 100 times?
Why can't wrestlers face other like relevant wrestlers on the roster? Why do they just have to do
I know that they have
matches?
to save kind of something like that for like a pay-per-view because it's too much of a draw to see like every week and it's just going to get like slow and bland.
But like
have him feud with someone at least because right now Sami Zayn is like one of their best talents on Raw and he's being misused tremendously just like Cesaro.
Even if you wanted them to feud with Jinder Mahal, I wouldn't mind if they actually built up Jinder Mahal to not be a jobber.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Gimmick or something, or like beating up on Sami Zayn backstage, or give them more than like a 2-minute spot where Jinder can actually get some moves.
That was literally one of the most pointless parts of Raw for sure, other than the squash matches by Strowman and Nia Jax. Sami Zayn gets added to that as much as I love the guy. He deserves better. Him and the next guy we're about to talk about in match number 2 of the Best of 7 series, or as Michael Chow said, the worst of 7 series is we're going to call it from now on. Sheamus versus Cesaro.
Wow. Sheamus wins again.
Goes up 2-0. Are you kidding me?
Are we going to, were we going to have Cesaro go up, Sheamus go up 3-0 and then have Cesaro win 4 straight matches? Is that what we're heading for right now?
It's so predictable, and I think that's actually what we're going to get. Or actually going to get the shocking 4-0 win by Sheamus, and then nothing come from that.
In this match, though, the end that when Cesaro
there's actually like a really, really crazy spot at the end where it almost looked like Cesaro got injured Like, how is this actually going to go? Like, we need to know. I don't think we need to know, but
is that
how?
going to be an injury angle or what?
I don't know if that was an injury angle or if that was a actual legitimate injury. But Cesaro took that really bad spot at the end. So great. Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus up 2-0. Fan-fucking-tastic.
He literally, like...
I feel so bad for Cesaro. So bad. He
throws him into... And he goes over his shoulders and hits his like lower back on the ring post. And it looked like it really hurt.
It looked like it honestly really, really hurt.
And then Sheamus just threw Cesaro back in the ring, put him in a cloverleaf for the win.
Great. I got to see Sheamus win 3 times. Fucking great. Because I actually want to see Sheamus win a goddamn match. He's terrible. I hate Sheamus. I can't take him anymore.
Who would you rather win, Big Show or Sheamus?
Oh. Whoa. Oh. Toughest question ever right there. Big Show.
We should have Braun Strowman squash Sheamus or something.
Oh, I would love that. I would honestly love that. But Cesaro, poor Cesaro. I honestly hope he goes to SmackDown after this. He complains about being misused, and it leads to something.
It leads to a trade.
Yeah.
He needs to elevate the mid-card on SmackDown.
Oh, I honestly, it's so pissed off that WWE is misusing this guy. It's honestly not even fair.
Why? Like, even put him in a feud with Rusev, at least.
I don't get it. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. It makes me sick. It's definitely the worst of 7 series. So we're going to move on to something better. To the Stephanie McMahon and Paul Heyman segment.
The first time I watched this, I thought it was absolute garbage. And then I went back and watched it again, and I thought it made a little bit more sense.
Okay, you're going to explain some explanation to me, because... So Steph wanted an apology from Paul Heyman after what Brock Lesnar did to her brother, and pay the fine of $500. Paul Heyman says basically he's sorry, and then he starts paying the fine. He grabs like a stack of $1 bills and starts like
fantastic.
Making it rain on Stephanie McMahon. That's like she's a stripper of $1 bills.
The first time someone made it rain on her, you
know. But what does this even mean or lead to? Pertaining to Stephanie McMahon.
I think the ending sucked, where Stephanie just said apology accepted and then
walked out. Like what? What? Really? Like, where do they even go from here? If Orton's setting up, or they're setting up a Lesnar Orton 2, which we'll get into later, and Brock Lesnar's supposed to be doing something with Shane McMahon later down the line. What in the actual fuck was the point of this segment if it's not going to go anywhere?
Was it just supposed to be for Paul Heyman to like be deviant and like get on Steph's good side after the whole Shane
He needs
thing?
another guy. We need to have him with another guy that's there full time, because him just showing up once in a while with Brock Lesnar, whatever he wants to show up, is getting stale as fuck now. But like, he runs good promos, good mic skills, and that was funny and hilarious last night. But why even have this segment if there's nothing going to come from it? If they're not going to do anything with Steph and Paul every goddamn week, why the hell was this segment even on Raw? It's literally mind-boggling right now.
No one else came out or anything. It was just them two.
Just them two. So if you guys know and have an opinion or think of a theory of where this could lead to, please tweet at us or leave a comment in the YouTube section below, because we need to know, because I'm so baffled by this. I don't know where it leads to. I can't tell where it leads to. Usually I'm good at this. I can't honestly think of one thing. I can't. So we'll move on to something even worse.
As we're talking about the filler hour of Raw.
Titus and Darren Young. I mean, you said before I had a lot of hype for this, but they went completely 360. It went completely the wrong road where I didn't want them to go, and now it's become stale as fuck. We had the stupid mic skill, we had the bad mic skills by Titus O'Neil last week, and now in even worse. I don't even know what we watched this week.
Call that a match?
Was that even a match?
Bob Backlund came out again.
Why the hell are we seeing this more and more if it just gets worse every week? Like, why even do this and continue this if it's just getting worse every week and the crowd just does not give a shit? They're chanting, "We want Slater" through the entire match.
No one cares about this feud. No one. They
did this wrong, and I'm pissed off that they did this wrong, and they completely ruined it. It's garbage. I'm done with it now. I can't talk about it. I'm done.
This is going in the category for worst feud of the year for our Slammy Awards.
Yep. And that's going to be an interesting show at the end of the year. But out of even that, Raw was pretty good this week. Other than the middle of the show, it had a great opening. Some parts here and there, maybe in the middle of the show, but most of it shit, and probably the most fantastic ending of Raw I've seen in a long time.
They finally gave the fans what they wanted.
Basically, after giving us a shit filler. Like, just imagine how good Raw would have been if they actually had the cruiserweights as well this week.
I want to clear something up. I did not pick Roman Reigns to win. I said
I made a mistake on Twitter. Okay.
If Roman Reigns won, and I think it'd be funny just to troll all the fans that hate him.
Yeah, and you wanted Rollins to win.
I wanted Rollins to win.
Hey, you didn't. Kevin Owens won. Yeah, buddy. How you doing?
Good for Kevin Owens.
How you doing?
I'm happy for him.
How you doing?
Happy for you, for your boy Kevin Owens.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good for Big Cass. He had, like we said, he had a good showing in the match.
So Raw, pretty good this week. Move on to the other show, Team Blue, SmackDown. Interesting week this week, to say the least. I know it was shit, but there were some little bit of semi-good moments, I guess, here and there. Well, what am I kidding? You know what? I can't. I'm trying to get behind SmackDown this week as much as I could right there. It just failed. I botched hardcore. I can't, because SmackDown this week sucked. It sucked. I thought for sure they were going to go over the top and try to compete with Raw this week, but they failed.
After everyone talking about that Talking Smack thing with Daniel Bryan and Miz, which we forgot to talk about last week.
Yeah, they even had a recap of it in the beginning of the show where like they showed the entire thing where Miz lost his shit on Daniel Bryan for calling him a coward and saying he's like the most irrelevant IC champion ever.
And then Miz just went off and said, "Why don't you go wrestle in bingo halls? And I'm here every week. You're not wrestling anymore."
God.
And it was just Miz just went completely off.
And basically calling Bryan like to come out of retirement and stop being a coward.
He's here every week.
Just like I thought from that we were going to get a really good SmackDown this week, but no. WWE continued again to give us some shit SmackDown. I compare this week's SmackDown as the same as what it was before the brand split. That's how bad SmackDown was this week in terms of trying to compete with Raw this week.
The opening, we had Miz come out.
Well, but even before that, after they showed the recap, they had Shane telling Bryan that he shouldn't get in the face of talents like that. And Bryan's like, yeah, I agree, but finds it ironic that you're saying this while you're having beef with Brock Lesnar. So some jabs out there from the commissioner and the GM. It was actually pretty interesting. I don't know, I liked that a little bit. Yeah. And then Miz comes down. I'm like, oh shit, okay, so now SmackDown's about to get elevated. He's about to come out and do some more shit. Basically just talking basically the same crap as he was on Talking Smack. I'm like, okay, that's all right. Then Ziggler comes out.
Yep. So Ziggler just went from the top of the card.
Now he's down to Miz in mid-card IC champion. He comes out and starts provoking Miz and like challenging him to fight him without referees or anything, and then Miz walks away.
Ziggler's like, well, I guess Daniel Bryan was right. You are a coward.
Seriously? Did we... This is why I try to get behind SmackDown this week, but when you have opening shit like that, why? Why even have an opening like that? How do you... Basically, that Talking Smack segment has just been thrown out. Because we have later in the show, Daniel Bryan saying, yeah, I was wrong. And he also said on Talking Smack again on the one after this week's SmackDown. He's like, yeah, I was wrong. He was right. And that's it.
They just completely dropped this thing after it was one of the most hyped things behind
that. Was probably the best promo of Miz's entire life, and you just literally forgot about it and dropped it.
Dropped the whole thing.
Is it really because that there was so much hype and people thinking that Daniel Bryan's going to come back to the ring that they really had to drop it like that? Like that was, and then they have this opening segment on SmackDown this week, and they later said that at Backlash, Miz will face Ziggler for the IC title. So Ziggler went from the top at SummerSlam. Now he's back to the mid card. It's this continuing endless fucking cycle of him going to the top, down to the mid card, then being irrelevant again, then back to the top, then mid card, then being irrelevant again. Are you fucking kidding me?
He has, like, he doesn't stay in one spot for a long period of time. They just move him around. That's why it's hard for people to take him seriously, because we don't know what he is.
And same with Miz, like you have the promo of your life and you actually get credibility, and now you just it's gone out the window. Like, is he going to have these if they want to actually, you know what? That's right. If they want to continue with this Miz's credibility and boosting him up, they need to have these types of promos now on Dolph Ziggler. If you want that match at Backlash to work, you're going to need to hype it up really good and have Miz keep acting like this new Miz for like the rest of the weeks leading up to Backlash.
Cut a promo on Ziggler like that.
Exactly.
I'm sure we
can see how serious Ziggler got leading up to their SummerSlam match
with Ambrose.
So we know both these guys can pull it off. So you know what? They need to start making that match more hypeable and continue this shit leading into their Backlash match. Even maybe do another Talking Smack segment, something. You have to make this match more presentable or else it's going to get stale and no one's going to give a flying shit about it.
Is Ziggler going to go over here or what?
What happens in this match? If Ziggler wins the title, like what? Like, I don't understand where he even goes from there if he wins the title.
Baron Corbin. And we see that feud again for the 10th time.
I really hope not. So move on SmackDown to more tag team tournament matches. First one on SmackDown, we have the Hype Bros facing the Vaudevillains. We actually take a look at the bracket before the match. The next match for AAA will be against the Usos, and so now this match right here, the Hype Bros with Vaudevillains, will face the winner of the later tag match of Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Headbangers. So we get a match with the Hype Bros versus Vaudevillains. It was really, really short for some reason. It literally lasted like 2 minutes, and the Hype Bros win and move on. So basically a squash match
spot.
Like what? I thought this was like a try to make this tournament prestigious and mean something.
Unpredictable.
And you have a fucking 2-minute match. You basically squashed the Really, you squashed the Vaudevillains with the Hype Bros. Really.
And you have all 4 face teams win. Like how predictable is this?
Not
like I said,
not the quote or pun. Zack Ryder, are you serious, bro? Like, really?
Tournaments are supposed to be unpredictable. This is the most predictable tournament I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really. How do you
turning the Usos heel in this? I don't know how I'm supposed to get excited for this at all.
I could try to get behind American Alpha and Usos facing each other next week, but I can't because I know American Alpha is going to win. It's so predictable, and after the outcomes tonight, it's even more predictable. So American Alpha is your next tag team champions. We're calling it here right now. As I said, even in the beginning, that they're going to win, but now it's even more predictable that they are going to win. But these short, stupid tag team matches need to stop. If you're going to hype this tag team division and have it being one of the centerpieces of SmackDown, stop having a goddamn 2-minute match. What the fuck did you have a 2-minute match for?
In it too, like most of the matches.
These guys could have a longer match than that. Both teams are capable of that. It's so stupid.
5 minutes. 2 minutes?
I don't understand.
It's not like these tag teams are old, like the Headbangers, and they couldn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Like the Vaudevillains are a good tag team, as much as I hate them.
It's stupid.
They can put on a good match.
As much as I guess, I don't know. I mean, I like the Vaudevillains, but as much as I want to say I like the Hype Bros, it's almost turning stale. Almost. It's getting there. I almost feel like Mojo Rawley can actually do good on his own.
So you're not going to stay hype?
I will stop being hype. I will not get hype as well. But speaking of short matches, we get on to the Styles and Apollo Crews part of the show.
God, they should have just given us more of this match.
We get into the stupid backstage segment before. So is Apollo Crews' gimmick where he just goes around telling people how to spell his name?
Great. Spelling bee.
So we went from the botch by Brian to actually leading into it. Really, this is Brian's botch is now leading into new gimmick for Apollo Crews.
He shouldn't need to spell his name.
It's stupid. We know how to spell his name. I mean, sometimes I don't, but still. Like, we don't care. Why is this a gimmick for him? We know he's bad on the mic, and then you give him that stupid gimmick on top of that? Are you kidding me?
You gotta give him a better gimmick for us to get behind him. Like, we want to get behind him.
It also led to AJ Styles, probably the biggest draw on SmackDown, to even spelling his name. That was fucking stupid, too. You really had that guy demote to that shit? Come on, WWE. Do better than that. Bullshit. Apollo Crews is probably one of the greatest talents on SmackDown as well. You have him doing this stupid spelling gimmick shit. Unbelievable. This leads to an AJ Styles in-ring segment, which is actually pretty good. He was really, really over with the crowd, I might say, too.
He was wearing a John Cena headband.
Yeah, well, the armband on his head. And the crowd was so over. I was crazy. Yeah. I'm like, wow, he's the heel and he's still getting over.
Said he's the face that runs the place now.
Yeah. Which is basically true. Because Dean Ambrose is falling out of place with the world title. AJ Styles is basically the only draw to SmackDown right now. So he comes out, and I guess he says he's the face that runs the place. Then we get Apollo Crews that interrupts him. It says he gets permission. He went and got permission to face. I didn't know you had to get permission to have a match with someone anymore. I thought you just asked for the match and to give it to you. I mean, I thought you asked permission for titles.
Apollo Crews, can I have a match, please?
Like with AJ
Instead of just
Styles.
coming out?
But no, you're not allowed. Like what?
Go out.
Just go out and face him. I don't think they care. I think in terms of a GM giving permission, I think for title shots it makes sense. But for a regular match, really, they really had that.
We need them to have like a little bit of mean streak going. Like we need them to
know.
get like fired up and like pissed off.
This is just really like too PG. It feels it's really bad.
That match though could have been good, but they weren't given enough time
for that. It was like 8 minutes long, and for the time they had, okay, I'll give them benefit of the doubt. For the 8 minutes is actually pretty good 8 minutes, but again, it should have been longer. They should have sent with the tag team match should have been longer. They could have taken time out of the stupid fucking Heath Slater segment we'll get into later. Could have taken time out of that and made this match at least 15 minutes long and actually something decent to talk about, but I can't because it wasn't long enough to talk about how good it was.
Phenomenal forearm for the win, but
and that was it. Styles wins.
I hope we see that feud again somewhere down the line for something more.
That would be really good. I think so too. I think we're going to because Styles, Crews, and Corbin are basically like the future of basically, and Ambrose, the future of SmackDown.
So I'm hoping they have a feud for like a title or something down the road.
Yeah, for sure. Getting into the Heath and Rhino trailer segment with Renee Young. Oh my god, what the fuck did we just watch? I remember just after that finish and looking at No Cell Phone going, did they honestly just do that? Like, did they really just play that shit instead of having wrestling? I thought SmackDown was supposed to be a wrestling-based show, not some stupid segment show where we make fun of hillbillies and trailer park people.
Was that not the best segment you've ever seen in your life?
No.
But it did hype Heath Slater a bit, though, like going
a little
back to
bit.
his house.
Okay. We get the Rhino eating crackers and cheese, and like putting a sad face whenever on the cheese. And whenever Heath Slater talked about something sad to Renee Young,
did not say a word in this segment.
No, not one word. Rhino didn't say one peep. And then we have Slater's
wife,
butt ugly wife. If you can say that's his wife, I think it's basically just an actor. But
actress
made to look like an ugly trailer trash girl.
And then he keeps saying that if he wins, he's going to get a double wide trailer.
Like just acting like making fun of trailer trash. Like are they allowed to do that? Like isn't that like making fun of those types of people? Those types of people are probably watching WWE and watching that and being offended.
West Virginia people.
Yeah, it's terrible. And like we get like the Slater's kids mentioned, but we don't see them. They're like out in the back,
picking up bottles and cans.
Yeah, and apparently they start like a car or something, and then Slater's wife run out, and like it's just like an awkward silence between Renee Young and Rhino, and just like that. Hey, how you doing?
And
stare.
Eating the crackers.
Like, eating the cracker.
Like 12 crackers during this segment.
So after this whole segment, I honestly don't know even how I feel. I don't know how to feel hate. I don't know how to feel anything for this type of segment. I don't know what I just watched.
I'd give it a meh.
I give it a nothing because I don't know what it was. This honestly sucked. If I can say anything, it sucked. And it was pointless. They got rid of what we should be watching on SmackDown, and that's wrestling, which should have been a wrestling-based show, and we got shit. We got stupid segment. So I'll move on. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm moving on. The Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt. I just botched it like Steph. Bray Wyatt and Orton segment.
I didn't see this segment,
so I'll talk about it a little bit. It was actually pretty unreal. The typical Bray Wyatt in the ring on this rocking chair, talking about Randy Orton and saying the voices on his head are crazy and yada yada yada. It's basically like Bray Wyatt talking. I mean, he's unreal. He's got like the best mic skills probably in the business. Just the way he words stuff is just crazy. So Orton comes out, and they both start talking about Randy's voices in his head, like fucking typical shit that we always see and always talk about Randy Orton. Do we really need to keep talking about his voices in his head? Like, really? Can we actually get something else? And then Orton charges the ring like he's going to attack Bray, and then we get the duh, and then commercial. What? So we don't see anything. We get we're about to see some sort of confrontation. The lights go out, and then commercial. We don't get any explanation, even when it comes back from commercial, about what we just saw.
Nothing.
Nothing. That's it.
I hope they hype this match next week.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They've got 1 week left.
1 week to hype this match.
1 week. I do agree with the people out there that say that Backlash is too soon. They literally had 2 weeks to build a.
They could have moved it 1 extra week up.
Back.
Sorry.
Because you just come off SummerSlam. You need weeks.
Because now this Bray Wyatt and Orton segment, it just feels way too rushed. Like, way too rushed. After we got nothing this week, you got nothing? Really? This week you had 2 weeks to prepare for this match and you gave us absolute trash. Nothing.
You have to let the storyline develop, and you can't develop in a week or two.
It was terrible.
Especially with what they did this week. Now next week you've got to really
Are we going to get the continuation? Are they going to be in some sort of Warped World somewhere? Like, what the fuck do we even do after that?
Are they going to be in Viperville next week? Like,
oh my god. Watch it be in St. Louis, Missouri next week.
But the pay-per-views, I don't know. I think they're too rushed right now.
Yeah. And this segment and this feud right here is basically Exhibit A of why we should be a little longer. We should be waiting more than a week
to build a Bray Wyatt Orton match, which should be good, but they're just not building.
Unless they continue after Backlash, then it's not going to be anything. There's going to be nothing. It's going to be a zip.
Nada.
So move on to the women's division, and again, we lead into SmackDown how bad it was this week. There was literally no excitement from the women's division next week.
Fantastic match.
You only like this match because Alexa Bliss won. Cheatingly, I'll add, she grabbed the tights.
What do you mean? It was clean as fuck.
It's a heel tactic, whatever. I'll get behind that. But there was no excitement. It was the same match as last week. They just changed one person.
Well, there was excitement because Carmella attacked your girl. Carmella attacked. Nikki
okay, that was okay.
Commentary.
But like, we get Carmella showing up out of nowhere and attacking Nikki. We have no explanation as to why. That's 2 weeks of attacking, but we get no explanation from Carmella as to why she's doing this.
Should have been on Talking Smack or something.
If they continue this next week and there's no explanation, then again, why the fuck does WWE do these things thinking that it's actually hype and thinking that we can get behind it? We can't, because literally they need an explanation. Carmella needs to come out next week and say something about why she's been attacking Nikki Bella. That's 3 attacks on Nikki Bella without any mention as to why, because they've never had previous heat before. This is all of a sudden new heat. Look, why is she doing that? Why? I don't understand. We need some sort of explanation. So they have that match with Naomi and Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss and Natalya, and after the distraction, Alexa wins with the roll-up hanging onto the tights on Becky Lynch. Sure, why not?
Fantastic.
You get a win over the title champion. Why not? Whatever.
5 out of 5. Naomi's entrance was really good, though.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. That's probably the only thing I can get behind SmackDown this week.
I really hope that they build this 6-pack challenge, because you're going for the new women's title on SmackDown. Like, you're going.
And if you're going to make that prestigious, you have shit like where they have Nikki Bella getting attacked and no explanation, and the same stupid match the last 2 weeks. This is so stupid. Why is there not more like
there should be
excitement
like promos or vignettes or something?
There's got to be something to add to this 6-pack challenge to build it up better.
Like if Becky Lynch was the number 1 pick of SmackDown, she should be going out there cutting promos or vignettes saying, like, you know what, I was picked first for a reason. I want to be the face of this women's division. I want to be the first champion. I deserve to be the first champion. Like, they should be cutting some kind of promos, and they're not.
Exactly. I honestly think you're 100% right with that, and I don't understand. But we'll move on to God, I ranted a little bit about this earlier in the show. We get Slater and Rhino in the second match of the tag team tournament versus
Slater, baby,
the Headbangers. This god awful team, which someone back in
the attitude, like early attitude,
that they were somewhat popular, and there's someone backstage who thinks that this is actually a good idea. No, this was probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This match wasn't even good.
David Otunga's like, I guess they got their manager to take their shift at Hot Topic.
Like, what the hell? I'm not sure that was funny, but are you kidding me? We even had Rhino busted open in the match. How? I don't know.
Yeah, how did he get busted open?
I don't understand. He probably got headbanged. I don't know. No pun intended.
Did he do a Ric Flair and make himself bleed? And like, what?
I don't understand why they thought it was a good idea to bring this stupid team that no one gave a shit about. The crowd was like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" when they came out. I honestly think they implemented some fake crowd noise here because there are some cheers. I'm like, who in the blue hell is cheering for these guys right now? I'm looking at the crowd going, what the fuck? Why are you cheering these guys? Why? They're not going anywhere. This is like a one-time thing.
Why would they even come back? What relevance did they have in this tournament?
Why do they have this thing where Slater keeps facing like old talent or teaming up with old talent? What is there like a fetish here where Slater just wants to do shit with old talent? Because there's all that thing that was going on during War 1000 where he's facing all the legends, and now he's teaming up with a legend and facing legends. I don't understand what the hell the headbangers shit was about. It was stupid and made SmackDown irrelevant. I bet you even Impact Wrestling beat SmackDown this week just because of this segment alone.
I literally only think I think they were the only team that would agree to come back to do that for 1 week. That like was relevant enough.
This was so stupid.
I guess if you called it
unfucking believable.
They did a leg drop, and I don't know. I can't believe the guy didn't like die from doing that. And then Rhino came in and
they look like the biggest bunch of skids I've ever seen. Like, go back to Hot Topic. I agree with a ton of guys. Go finish your shift at Hot Topic. You don't need to be in wrestling anymore. Just leave. Stay in your bingo halls, wherever the hell you came from. We don't need you anymore. We do not care. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. It's the plain truth. You're stealing minutes away from real talent that should be getting minutes on here. Like the freaking Hype Bros and Vaudevillains. We had this match longer than that match, for fuck's sakes. How the hell did the Headbangers get more TV time than two teams who are up and coming in the new era? Please, someone explain to me that.
All I can say is Heath Slater and Rhino, baby.
Moving on, and
they're winning the titles. I'm telling you right now. Hey,
they'll face the Hype Bros.
You can't say that this Heath Slater thing isn't growing momentum. He's getting a lot over right now.
Well,
and with the Heath Kids signs, those are pretty funny.
I guess is the only highlight we can say out of this.
The
but
Heath Kids,
they'll face the Hype Bros in the semifinals.
100% they're winning that match.
God,
Heath Slater's getting his contract, baby.
We'll have to see. I guess they have to, diminishing rosters. But moving into the main event.
No. We missed a part.
Oh, we missed a part.
We missed the best part of SmackDown.
Oh, my God. I totally forgot. Milkomania, baby. The Milkman. Who in the blue fuck is the Milkman? Who was this guy? Can someone out there please tell me what promotion, I don't even know where this guy even came from.
What accent was he trying to come back and he's just in the ring like
I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this like something for this main event? No, we don't. We the stupid guy prepared for a match. He starts undressing down to his fucking tidy whities. Who the fuck wrestles in tidy whities?
As much as we've been laughing at or making fun of JBL lately, he actually did have a good line where as he stripped down to his tidy whities, he's like, "My God, my mother watches this show. What is this?"
God. Like, unbelievable. There are kids in the crowd watching that. You should feel ashamed of me.
He didn't even have tights on. Like, at least put him in tights or something.
So who the fuck is this guy? Who person backstage was like, you know what? Hold up. Before we have the main event, let's get this random dude to go out in his fucking tidy whities and get chokeslammed by Kane. Yeah, so Kane comes out. Oh, great. Yeah, it's got to be Kane. Sure. Thanks, W, because I totally forgot Kane was on the roster and should be relevant again to come out and chokeslam someone and then leave. Really?
Him some jobber guy. Like what? Like
are they trying to compete with like the jobbing matches on Raw? Is this really it?
But they only have 2 hours. They shouldn't need to do that. And then
that was really the most pointless thing I've ever seen.
Why are they showcasing Kane? We've seen Kane for 15 years. Longer than that. 16. Whatever. However long he's been there. Probably 20 years by now.
This segment gave me a headache. I got instant headache from this. I'll never drink milk again because of this guy.
But what was the point of this segment for 5 minutes and not giving it to Cruz and Styles for 5 more minutes?
Exactly. Or this main event of Ambrose and Corbin. Ambrose faced Corbin. Could have been longer, but we had to have fucking Milkomania douchebag in the ring get chokeslammed by Kane because, that was more needed than anything else on the show.
I literally think that was the most pointless segment of all time.
I'm honestly going to give it the award right now. I know this is early for the Slammies, but that's the award right there. Worst segment of the year, unless something tops that. And I really hope not, and nothing tops that.
Like, that was literally the most irrelevant thing.
I don't understand why WWE chooses to do this shit. No, I'm done. finished. I'm about to walk out of this fucking show. I cannot talk about this anymore. I'm going to get too fired up.
Milkman. Done with Milkmania.
Talk about the main event. Ambrose faced Corbin. I'm like, yes, okay, something we can look forward to. We had a pretty good match. Corbin actually looked really good, and again, another person that looked like they can hold up their own, and he looked really good in the main event picture. So this is actually a really good sign for Corbin's future with SmackDown and being maybe the next main event guy. He can definitely be that type of heel champion 100%. But he faced Ambrose, and then we get Styles interfering because he was on commentary.
He came in and told Styles, or he was like, Corbin, stay on him, and Corbin guys like, don't tell me what to do.
And then, oh my god, and then Ambrose. This is where we say Ambrose needs to start taking this shit seriously, because now he just starts being comedic with Styles after he landed on the ropes and hurt his groin.
Well, first of all, it ended in disqualification, this match.
Yeah, which I don't really care, because that really just even another worse thing, it's going to make me walk out. Styles interferes at the end, and the stupid...
He's about to give the phenomenal forearm.
And he gets stuck on the grogginess on the rope, that stupid state. I don't know what it's called, but he's basically getting bagged, and he's on the rope, and Ambrose
style
is taking pictures with him and shaking his hand.
Doing a pose with him, and Styles is grabbing his...
are you kidding me, Ambrose? Where's the freaking Ambrose Asylum craziness Ambrose that we're supposed to see? The crazy Ambrose would have went outside, grabbed the chair, and smacked him off the ropes. That's the type of Ambrose that people want to see, not this shit. I can't take Ambrose seriously after watching that. I cannot. That's why I think that Styles, I'm picking Styles for the win, and Styles should be champion of SmackDown, because he can actually elevate that championship and be a really good heel champion 100%.
Ambrose needs to just do more.
I don't understand why. It's almost like he's being held back. And I really hope it's not going to be holding him back, because he needs to be that crazy lunatic fringe that he's supposed to be, because that wasn't lunatic fringe worthy at all. That was like John Cena-esque right there. Ambrose, you just acted like John Cena. Way to go. Unbelievable. I can't believe that was the end of SmackDown. That's why SmackDown this week sucked ass.
I give SmackDown 1 out of 5.
I give it 1 out of 5 as well. You know what? I was going to say 1.5. I'm taking away that 0.5 and giving it 1 this week. And I'm giving Raw 4 out of 5 this week on the main event alone. Just saying it over the top.
I'm saying 3.75 for Raw.
Interesting rating.
Corporate rating there, but...
If Sasha Banks was on it, you would have agreed with me.
Oh. The only reason I gave SmackDown 1 was because Alexa Bliss got a win.
Wow. I'm giving it 1 due to seeing Baron Corbin wrestle in the main event. That's it.
Oh, I thought
and Apollo Crews having some sort of
I
match.
thought you were going to say for the Milkman in the best segment of
that's why I love SmackDown, because I really want to see. You know what? Everything else on SmackDown sucked except for the Milkman segment. 100%.
It did have everyone talking. If there's one thing.
No, fuck off. It was
Is he going to be back next week?
I hope not. If I see the McMahon next week, I'm turning off my TV. I'm turning it off, and I'm not watching the end of SmackDown if it's going to be near the end. I'm not watching it. But yeah, this week, definitely Raw. 1 this week for sure. 100%. We'll see what's going on next week.
It's a shame, because we want SmackDown to succeed, and they had a great SmackDown last week. SmackDown was fantastic last week.
And
with all the momentum they had with the Talking Smack segment with Miz, and it just went completely downhill.
It just they didn't jump off that. They didn't continue that. They just went, no, we're going to forget about it and just give you crap down. There was crap down we got this week. Shit down.
Talking shit. That's what it was.
We got talking shit right after. That'd be a really cool segment. Anyways, get into the last part of the show, guys. Our favorite part of the show, WWE Headlines. Any important news in WWE? So hit that headline music. That's right. Welcome to WWE Headlines, ladies and gentlemen. Our segment of the show. We're talking about any important news in WWE. And again, this week we have 3 topics. The first topic has to do with what my corporate co-host over here is wearing. Just waving at me right now.
No, I'm waving it.
Oh, the stupid flies we got in here. We get some corporate flies in here as well. Del Rio is officially done with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like we didn't see this coming.
Well, he was already pissed off with the company as it was, and he did have an opt-out clause in October, and then the whole suspension thing happened.
So he's saying now he will not be returning after his suspension. He says he's very unhappy the past few months with the WWE creative, saying he was given empty promises with his return last year, including a main event push, which he never got. And there is no word yet on if real-life girlfriend Paige will follow after.
Oh, you better hope not.
I hope not, or I'm going to be probably the most sour person in the world. I don't even know if I'll be able to do the podcast that week. I'll be super sour, but I really hope she doesn't. She'd be stupid to do that. But there's some light at the end of that tunnel with Paige, because she retweeted someone today who had like a quote on top of a Paige picture that said like something about screw haters and just keep building stronger on your way to a comeback. And I'm like, oh, she retweeted that a day ago. So I'm like, okay, so it kind of makes sense.
Maybe she won't be leaving.
Maybe she won't be leaving. I'm really hoping it works out that way. So good for my girl Paige.
Del Rio got fucked over though. Like when he came back, he did beat Cena's first night, which was amazing. But they didn't give him a gimmick. They had him in the League of Nations bullshit.
Yeah, and they had that stupid Mex America crap too that he didn't want to do. And I guess so. He's got empty promises, and they said he would push him in an event, and it didn't happen. And it probably has something to do with the brand split.
And I'm not being biased. He's probably one of the best wrestlers in the company.
And I'm going to agree. This guy probably should have been pushed in the main event caliber area this entire year.
He wasn't given a gimmick. He should have been given his old gimmick.
Yeah,
back.
That's what everyone says. They missed the Del Rio with the shining showers and the cars.
What? Why didn't they have that back?
Bring back freaking Ricardo Rodriguez as the ring announcer. Everyone loved that, and to do it and like say his name with them. And
literally, in the 3 weeks that he was on SmackDown, he lost in that Battle Royal that we were there for. Didn't even get to see him get a fucking entrance. He lost the next week to Ambrose, I think.
Yep.
And the week after, he lost to Cena.
Yeah, and that was his official last match, and it looks like he's going to be his official last match in the WWE.
Just what I wanted. His last match in WWE, he loses to John Cena.
I really hope he comes back sometime. Maybe he'll
He's already left twice now.
Maybe he'll get over it, do his thing, maybe come back to Royal Rumble. Could be a surprise entrant to Rumble, something like that.
If this is the last time I see my boy, I think he's a Hall of Famer, just saying.
No, 100%. I honestly think he's a straight Hall of Famer. Guy's got to look at his career in WWE and what he's done for like the Mexican wrestling industry. It's incredible. So
I will quickly pull up. Where is it? Right here.
Breaking news.
World heavyweight. World heavyweight. 2-time world heavyweight champion. 2-time United States champion. 2 times WWE champion, bragging rights trophy winner, if you count that.
Yeah, we'll count that.
Money in the Bank winner 2011, and Royal Rumble winner 2011, which was also the biggest Royal Rumble ever, I must say, 40-man.
And he won that. So
he literally won everything you could
just out of those accomplishments alone, unreal for Del Rio. Like, the guy is incredible, and he's had a great career. If this is it for him, you know what? I'm happy with whatever he does in his future endeavors.
As long as he doesn't take Paige with him.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't take Paige with him, 100%. Another bit of news, Orton and Lesnar 2 has been officially announced. The Allstate Arena in Chicago is advertising at their WWE live show on September 24th that the official rematch will take place. It is a day before the Clash of Champions show, and there's no word if this will be a network special.
Are we really getting this again?
Yep, and if we don't see it, if it's not network special, we're not going to see it.
What's the point of having it?
They're not even talking about it on TV. They haven't said it anywhere on Raw, and they didn't say anything about it on SmackDown.
Why would you do it on like a net? Why would you do it on
I just want to know why they're not talking about it. This is probably going to be one of the most anticipated rematches ever. Why the hell are they not talking about it at all?
Why would they have it on TV?
Are they waiting until maybe after Backlash? Like, what? I don't understand.
What's the point?
I don't know. If you guys know out there and you got some opinions around this, tweet us and send us your opinions on Orton Lesnar 2.
What else could they do with this, though? Is he just going to do the same thing again?
Yeah, I honestly don't know why they're even having a rematch. Why? I don't know. But anyways, we'll move on. Last bit of news, Bo Dallas gets arrested for public intoxication.
This was hilarious.
You have to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. It is real. He was kicked off a plane for being too intoxicated. He also reported he was singing the Lion King tunes on the plane out loud, being drunk, and he was yelling at flight crew as well. He's also saying when the police approached him when he landed at the airport, he was very swervy. He dropped his phone. He smelled really bad of alcohol, and they deemed him unsafe to drive.
Well, I guess he was trying to make people believe on the plane.
He's singing the Lion King tunes
That just what was he in character?
Why was he
broke
drunk?
character?
Why was he drinking on an airplane? Is he like pissed off that he's not getting used anymore? And he's just drinking his life away on an airplane.
What I heard was that all the superstars were waiting for a flight to go to the Mexico tour, and he was at a restaurant with Charlotte and one of the Usos, and they were like drinking, but like he just like went over the top and like got on the plane and was acting like an idiot,
and probably drank more on the plane.
He was probably running around doing the bow train.
Oh my god, did you see that? Just running down, getting people off the plane to join him doing the bow train now.
I wonder if this was part of his character, or if it was just, does he want to get fired at this point?
I don't know, but this is real, guys. This is not even a gimmick. This was a release police statement by Dallas police. So
Bo Dallas in Dallas
gets arrested by Dallas police. I thought it was a joke at first, but that's real right there.
Like maybe he just doesn't care anymore because of the position he's in WWE. He's basically a jobber now.
And it's crazy how nothing is being said, like he's been suspended or anything. So you'll suspend. Okay, let's get this right. So you'll suspend Adam Rose, you'll suspend Del Rio, you'll suspend Paige, but you will not suspend Bo Dallas for being a drunk asshole on an airplane and getting arrested. Why is it taking you so long?
And they suspended Emma for shoplifting.
Yeah. But you won't suspend Bo Dallas for being a drunk idiot on an airplane singing Lion King and yelling at flight crew. Well, that's okay. That's all right. It's just like, if you're part-timer, you can do drugs. That's all right.
I don't think he's just a jobber now.
Yeah.
But
I'm just comparing it to that.
I want to know if they are actually going to suspend him, because that is something that you should be suspended for. You're supposed to uphold a professional standard.
You're getting drunk on airplanes.
In front of... You're not like doing it enclosed. You're at an airport. There's like thousands of people at an airport.
Yeah, and you can believe it.
Yeah, believe it.
Believe it.
Well,
that'd be a great tag.
Believe it.
You would just have to believe, and Jericho comes in. It.
There you go.
That'd be perfect. Creative. Money.
Yep.
Other than that, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Lowdown Show this week. Brand Wars, week number 21 on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. We are your Canadian-based...
The Milkman.
No. But we are your Canadian-based WWE podcast that discusses, reviews Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Smackdown from the past week, as well as our Twitter poll segment called Luke Gallows Polls, and WWE Headlines, where we talk about any important news in WWE, which is not brought to you by The Milkman.
It's brought to you by Bootios.
Which they make sure you ain't booty. And every week, the Lowdown Show, brought to you by Bootios, is broadcasted live on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/NHBWP. And after it is done, it is posted on YouTube, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and iTunes in full, wherever you want to listen to us for your enjoyment and whatever is convenient for you. If you'd like to join in the conversation, guys, have your tweets, thoughts, questions, or opinions read on the podcast, tweet us at noholdsbarredwb or by leaving a comment on the YouTube comment section below. As well, guys, you can follow the podcast on Twitter, like us on Facebook as well, subscribe to all our outlets. And guys, as always, I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. And every week, I'm continuing to be joined by my co-host, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Cappy.
Remember to never bliss me off.
Oof, don't bliss him off, ladies and gentlemen. And we are always also here reminding you to keep it on the Lowdown.